Okay, let's start. So, okay, thanks a lot. Let's start. So, who we are Growth Band. I'm Ilya from Growth Band, and we actually help companies and B2B brands with their go-to-market strategy and the outbound specifically. We do have the community in the blog called Outbound Reinvented, where we try to teach and educate a lot of people with the modern approaches, especially for the outbound, but overall about the go-to-market strategy, to level up your growth. We have a really great experience. Max and I we're working together at Expondi. This is the leading LinkedIn automation software. Before that, I was working at Lemlist. I was the sir hire at Lemlist, and it's like, if you are in outbound world, you definitely know those names. And today I will be happy to share with you something really, really cool. But one more thing, like during this webinar, not at the end of the webinar, but in the middle of the webinar, we're gonna share with you the bonus, something really, really exciting. So just wait till that moment, because only people who are live. So if you're watching this like in the recording, you are not going to get access to the bonus. Only people who are live. We appreciate that you're live. We appreciate that you're spending time and investing time and being online with us today. So we're gonna share with you a special bonus. So stay till that moment, and let's start. And one more thing, like today I'm really packed. I'm full with so many growth hacks, frameworks, templates, prompts, and so on and so forth. So if I'm going to speak too fast, just tell me, hey, Ilya, please slow down. And I'm not quite sure that I'm going to slow down, because we have so much information to share with you under the next 55 minutes. So let me start quickly. So let's start with the evolution of outbound, right? So if those, do we have any people who actually started doing outbound 25 years ago? Like, just raise your hands, just say yes or no. I don't know. Do we have? No, not raise the hand. Just say this in the chat, yes or no. So then, for the next question that I'm going to ask, please just engage in the chat. And the thing is that 25 years, oh my God, yeah. 25 years ago, a lot of people actually didn't know about the outbound and cold emailing overall. The first name personalization was the highest level of personalization that you can get. And at that time, it worked. It always works pretty well when the new channel appeared, when the new strategies actually appear in the market. It's working usually pretty well. After that, 15 years ago, finding emails was not the easiest thing, but at that time, a lot of people tried to buy databases, different sources with the email addresses, and so on and so forth. So this market was growing and growing and growing slowly, but still it was pretty expensive, or pretty weak and inaccurate and cheap, or the great stuff was only expensive. So at that time, it started growing, but mostly for bigger companies with bigger budgets. Then 10 years ago, we all knew LinkedIn is going to be a big thing, and it became a big thing. 10 years ago, LinkedIn was the best B2B source of B2B data. So you could find anyone on LinkedIn, you can find their LinkedIn profiles, and based on LinkedIn profiles, you could always find their email addresses. So 10 years ago, approximately, this whole market became more and more accessible. This whole channel became more and more accessible. And as you remember, probably if you're not, I will tell you, 5 years ago, I do really remember this time, because that was the time when I joined Lemlist. The market was a little bit different from what we have right now. So back in the days, the outbound just appeared. It became more and more democratized, so more and more people could start doing outbound. And at the end of the day, a lot of great tools appeared on the market, such as Lemlist, Reply.io, Woodpecker, and so on and so forth. So a lot of people could send cold emailing. But the only problem with that channel was the fact that a lot of email outreach providers actually charged you for the mailboxes that you used for sending emails. So, and it was not the time when you could send thousands of emails per day or from one mailbox. No, you still were limited with sending emails, with the amount of emails that you can send. So this channel was not extremely ROI effective in terms of the amount of emails that you can send and the amount of money that you should invest into that. But during the last 5 years, like specifically 3.5 or 4 years, the new players on the market, the new players came to the market, such as Instantly and Smartly. They actually changed the business model. So they started charging you not for the amount of mailboxes that you have to send cold emails, but by the amount of contacts you want to reach out to. And at the end, even the leaders of the market back in the days started changing their business model as well. And cold emailing, outreach systems, and overall as a channel became way more accessible to way more people, right? So now, like for $29, you can get unlimited mailboxes to send cold emails, a lot of warm-up stuff, and so on and so forth. So many things for way cheaper money compared to what happened 5, 6, 7 years ago. And the next thing is that because this market evolved and it's still evolving, a lot of solutions that were extremely great, such as Zoom Info or some other sales law, some big tools for enterprise markets, they are still for enterprise markets, but a lot of companies, a lot of providers actually came to the market with almost a similar amount of features, not with a similar quality, but still with a similar amount of features with a way cheaper price. So for example, if you're paying like $100 for Snowy, you're gonna get unlimited mailboxes to send your cold emails, warm up, LinkedIn automation, bulk lead search, email finder, email verification, so on and so forth, for just a few hundreds of dollars per month. And the same happens with Apollo, with Instantly, with so many other products on the market. So literally right now, everyone can send cold emails. And you may tell me, hey, Ilya, but this is great, right? So now we spend way less money on cold emailing and might get even better results because we are sending more and more cold emails, right? But the problem is that you're not the only one who's lucky, right? Everyone is lucky. Everyone is trying to send as many cold emails as it's possible because it is now extremely cheap. So in this new model, something that is happening right now, you can send thousands of cold emails, thousands of cold emails on a monthly basis easily without spending, huge amount of money into that. And your competitors are doing the same thing. So everyone doing is the same thing. And only if you're lucky, you can get the results. Because like if you're first who is doing that, all good. But if your competitors are doing the same thing, your customers and clients, mailboxes and inboxes are actually overwhelmed, but not only by you, but also by your competitors. That is why actually today I'm gonna talk about the not only the current outreach, but the outreach of the future, the micro trends that are happening right now, and that will become a bigger trend during the next few years. And probably you already saw some parts of that, but today we're going to talk about this more and more precisely. So just quickly, today's outreach is all about how to find 10,000 cold emails, 10,000 contacts, verify them, and send as many cold emails as it's possible. Yes, you should care about cold email deliverability. It's really important. But overall, you think that even if you generate like 1% or 0.1% out of these 10,000 people, you're going to get, it's ROI effective because you're not spending or investing too much money into that. But the future outbound, only those who are actually implementing these approaches will win during the next few years. And the future approach is basically the fact that out of 10,000 contacts that you find, you can say 100,000 contacts that you find, or just 1,000 or 1,000,000 contacts that you can find, only a small percentage of them will be extremely relevant to you right now because they actually have this problem. They actually need your solution right now. And our goal as the lead generation, people, we need to identify those people, those 100 golden contacts or 800 of semi-gold, like good enough contacts, and try to personalize the approach of reaching out to them as much as it's possible. So we actually need to only those who need us. I'm not talking that you don't need to reach out to the rest 9,000 people. You still can do the same thing, but there is not a huge difference between reaching out to 9,100 and 10,000, right? So with the conversion, it's going to be almost the same, but there are going to be a huge difference between reaching out to those 100 ideal contacts that you know that they're ideal. You can see that, you can smell it, that, this is ideal clients by a lot of factors, and try to generate leads out of them. And usually, if you implement this approach, and we saw that among a lot of our clients, around 50% of great, high quality SQLs are coming from those 900 ideal and good enough contacts, even more than 50%. So this approach can easily level up your current outreach lead generation by a lot, actually. So if the outreach that we know right now, it's still quantity over quality, because yes, we might personalize some messages, but our main goal is still how can we send as many cold emails as it's possible, by being a little bit relevant, a little bit personalized, but overall, that's the current approach. But the approach of the future outbound is about quantity plus quality. So we are okay to send a lot of cold emails if it's possible, but the quality to those who are actually golden clients, the most relevant people, the most relevant companies, we need to be as qualitative. We need to pick the most qualitative and maximize every single conversation that we have. So quickly, the tool sets for the automation that we are going to talk about, it's Clay, Zapier, it's Clay, it's the tool for data orchestration and enrichment. Today we're going to talk a lot about Clay. We'll be talking a lot about Clay, and the reason for that is it's not actually the the tool itself, but more like the way you should think about the data and the research. So the second one, it's no-code API connections like make.com, n8n.io, and so on and so forth. And the most of the cases that I'm going to share with you today are going to be with Make, but you can do literally the same thing with other tools as well for the API connectors. Data scraping and extractions. Today we're going to talk about Denrose and AP5. For me, it just feels like one of the best scrapers on the market. And AI agents, we are going to talk about this a bit less, but still it's a really, really great tools such as OmniMind.ai and so on and so forth. But today a little bit less about them. So, and nothing for intent data. Today it's going to be a lot about intent data, but I didn't want to just raise them as separate tools. So, how Clay changed the world? Do you just let me know? Do you know Clay? Right? So just say yes or no. Yes or no. Just yes, no. Yes, no. Okay. We have some people who didn't know. Well, okay, Clay. So Clay, just quickly, this is imagine the Google Sheets, the tool that everyone is actually using, the Google Sheets. And imagine that you have everything that you were missing about Google Sheets. You have formulas that you can manage your data there, and the formats of this data by just saying the words in the human voice. And AI, Clay's AI, will implement the right formulas. So at the end, you can manage the data pretty well. And the second thing is that imagine you have Google Sheets with all integrations you need. So for example, do you need to find email addresses? Boom, it's done. Do you need to find the company domain? Boom, it's done. Do you need to find out the traffic of the company? Boom, it's done. Do you need something else? Boom, it's done. It's so easy by using and implementing different tools and integrations with different tools within Clay. You can get so much information. So this is just simply the tool. Like it's the Google Sheets with tons of integrations and the ability to talk to Google Sheets like to a human, and it will do the job for you. So, and Clay actually changed the world. I mean, before that, and probably right now for a lot of you, you need from 2 to 3 data researchers, sometimes even more, to handle some specific amount of information, some specific amount of context. You need to use from 8 to 10, sometimes even more different tools to find the data, find the email addresses, verify the email address, and so on and so forth, and too much hassle with CSVs, download, export, import, and so on and so forth. And after Clay, once you implement Clay in the right way, you actually firstly can reduce all of your data researches to only one person, sometimes even 0 people. Actually, you don't need to use so many tools because they are all integrated within Clay, so you can actually add API keys, and that's basically it. You don't need to, open new interfaces again and again and again. And there is no hassle with CSV, export, import, Google Sheets, and so on and so forth. You can actually build the streamlined flow of data, and this is something that I'm going to show you today. So the main problem with Clay is the fact that it's pretty powerful, but at the same time, there's so many little details there. There's so many things that you have to know before you start using Clay. So there is a huge learning curve. In order to save you some time, that's basically why we're doing this webinar. So imagine, again, Clay, this is the table that you do have information about your clients. It looks like the error table, but you have one more magic button. It's called Add Enrichment. So once you click on that, you can get any information that you need. You need to find the phone numbers, boom, it's done. Email addresses, boom, it's done. And so on and so forth. And today I'm going to show you with the real examples and how some growth hacking ways to do that. So today I will share with you the actually framework that we are using for our clients and for ourselves in order to work with Clay. So, and it's not only about Clay, it's literally about the framework that you can actually implement by using Clay. But imagine if you have a developer, 10 hours of the development and Google Sheets, you can do literally the same thing as I'm going to show to you today with Clay. So that's basically the thing. So the framework that I want to share with you is basically divided by several steps. The first step, we already have the list of contacts or the companies that we need, that we want to reach out to. And our first step is basically to figure out who of them are relevant and figure out extra information about this company in order to just see whether these companies or contacts actually fit our ideal customer profile. And if they fit and we see that, okay, it's actually relevant to us, to this specific microsegment that we want to reach out to, then we need to check the relevancy. So how relevant we are in terms of reaching out to those people. And if we find out that we are relevant, so we actually found that those 100 ideal golden companies that are currently hiring for someone, that are currently actually need your solution literally right now. After that, we are coming to the decision makers and figure out the decision makers. And only after that, we are working on the personalization. We don't prioritize personalization over how relevant we are. We always need to start with we need to be relevant, and only after that we're gonna personalize the messages based on how relevant we are and some extra information. So just quickly, I'm going to share with you a quick poll just to figure out how many pro users do we have today. So please let me know in the chat, or not in the chat, in the poll. We're probably gonna see the poll right now as a pop-up. Tell me, have you ever heard about Clay? Are you using this? Just tell me whether probably you're Clay Pro, and something that I'm going to share with you. It's pretty cool, but nothing super new. So just tell me, and while you're answering, I'm gonna go to the next slide. So today I also decided to divide the presentation, the whole webinar, by 2 parts. The first part is, imagine you already found the list of contacts / companies that you want to reach out to. So imagine you have 10,000 of companies that you want to reach out to, and your next goal is to do that enrichment and find how relevant you are, buyer intent signals, etc., personalization, and so on and so forth. And the second part is I'm going to talk about how to find companies based on the triggers. So only those who are actually, dynamically. You don't want to reach out to all the SaaS companies, but only to those SaaS companies, to all the SaaS companies who are hiring right now for the developer. That's your main goal, right? So how to work on this left part of the Clay, how to dynamically add people to Clay with no CSV hassle. So let's start with the first part. Imagine you're using Sales Navigator or Apollo or something else, to use to find the list of contacts and companies. So what to do the next, right? So yes, I see that the majority of people actually are not using Clay. That is why it just feels like it's going to be really, really great. Yes, this is actually the answers. So yeah, so let's just start quickly about the basics. So the basics are what is the type of the information that you need to know about the company, just the basics, the fundamentals about the company or the contact. You need to actually know the domain, the LinkedIn profile of the company. You need to find out the decision makers, their emails, in rare cases, phone numbers, LinkedIn profiles of those decision makers. That's basically it, right? So by using Clay, you can always fill up the gaps by using the basic enrichment. So that means if you have the list of domains, you can easily find out the websites, the LinkedIn profiles, the information about the size, the industry, and so on and so forth in just one click. Okay, literally in 3 clicks technically, but still, you understand what I mean. And boom, if you do have the list of companies, you have the list of domains, and you want to find out the decision makers, there's so many ways to do that. Boom, you found it. Or if you already have the list of decision makers, right? You started this domain, you just uploaded the domain, boom, now you have the list of websites of this company, the company size, the industry, the LinkedIn profiles of this company. You found the decision makers. Now your goal is to find the email addresses of these people. So now it's also possible to do this within Clay. And even better than you are doing it right now. So basically, Clay gives you an opportunity to use the waterfall approach, where you try to find the email address with the first provider. So for example, in this case, it's Find Email. And if it doesn't find the valid email, you're going to start searching with the second provider. If it doesn't find the third, the fourth, the fifth, and so on and so forth. So by using this approach, in the majority of cases, you can find 90% of the email addresses of the contacts you have. So let's be frankly honest. If you're using, for example, Apollo, probably you notice that Apollo doesn't give you valid emails for a lot of contacts that you found, but by using Clay and this waterfall approach, you can easily find those email addresses. And the most interesting thing, and probably I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, is that you can do it even cheaper by using some API connections and the access to the current tools that you are already using, and find the majority of the emails without spending any credits at Clay. So with the basics, it's pretty easy, right? The thing is that the most important thing with this chart is that no matter what type of information you already have, even if it's only the domain, or if it's the LinkedIn profile of the person, or if it's something else, no matter what you already have, you can actually find the rest of the fundamental information about this company, about this person, pretty easily in just a matter of a few clicks. Okay, so this is about the basics. But then we start with the question, okay, we found the basics. We found out the list of people, we validated their emails, we found the emails, we found the phone numbers if you need that, and so on and so forth. Our next step when it comes to the framework that we're usually using is we need to check out whether this specific company is actually matching with our ICP. Because there are actually 2 ways to figure out whether the company is great for it, like fits your ICP or not. The first one, by quantitative characteristics such as size, location, something else like industry, micro niche, etc., etc. And usually you're already doing that, I'm pretty sure. But the second one, it's actually to figure out the specifics of the company. So for example, if you're selling to SaaS businesses, you definitely need to know sometimes whether it's a B2B transactional, B2B enterprise, or B2B self-serve SaaS business. It's all SaaS, but they're so different. And for this, what we are using and what we try to share with everyone is using the Clay agent. This is actually the scraping plus AI that you can give your own instructions, and this bot will go and scrape the website or even do some actions on the internet to get back to you with some information. So for example, we are usually using Clay agent to say, hey, please visit this domain, this website, and tell me whether this company actually fits my ICP criteria. And my ICP criteria is A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, right? So, and after that, we have the list of fit or doesn't fit. Sometimes we have even deeper information from 0 to 10, how great we are, how great they are for us, and so on and so forth. So this is actually the first step. We don't have a lot of time, but this is really important thing when it comes to the ICP validation, because I know that right now a lot of data researchers are spending hours visiting the websites and trying to figure out whether they actually whether it actually fits the ICP or not. So one more thing, I see some questions. Yes, today we are going to share with you the deck. Yes, and if you don't see the deck pretty well, just let me know in the chat, okay? Because I saw some questions. And the thing is that why we are all doing that, just because of one thing, we need to figure out whether we are relevant or not. And this fact is actually way more important than personalization, because personalization is all about, hey, like, I know some interesting fact about you. I did my homework. But if you don't need my solution, or if you actually don't have such a problem that I'm solving, it makes no sense. You probably will reply to me, hey, thanks a lot for your email, but we don't need that. Sorry. That is why we actually need to find whether we are relevant or not. So how to do this like relevancy check? And then today we're going to talk about this more and more. So basically, out of all people you have, only 1% showing the right high intent signals that they have the problems that you might solve with your solution. And our goal is to identify those companies out of 10,000, out of 1,000, out of 100,000 of companies. Our goal is to identify them, because today they have this problem. Next month they don't, because they're going to solve it. So, and usually this 1% usually bring, if you're doing everything correctly and in the right way, will bring you around 50% of quality sales qualified leads from the whole outreach strategy and from the whole outreach channel. Okay, so then I'm going to talk about how to figure out, okay, whether we are relevant or not. Just imagine you have thousands of data researchers who can work non-stop, 24 hours, 24/7. They can work, and you can give them any single task that you have in your mind. Imagine if the human can do something, I can do that as well. Like, let's say in 90% of cases, yes. So once you do that, your first step, you need to figure out what are the signals or the characteristics of the company, of the person, that will show you exactly that this company need you. And of course, only one factor will never show you exactly that this company is extremely relevant, but the combination of those factors will show you this how relevant you are, and will help you figure out this 1%. So, for example, like today we're going to share with you some examples. By the way, I really forgot to share with you. If you haven't heard about Clay, here's the link to Clay, and you're going to get, by signing up with this link, you're going to get plus 3K more credits for the first month. So just feel free to sign up. Yes, that's affiliate link. But you're going to get plus 3K credits for the first month on the paid plan. So let's imagine that there are some things that you need to know about the company or the person And what that might be. The first and logical thing for a lot of you, it might be the tech check, the technological tool stack that company is using. And you know about the BuiltWith, right? So you probably already heard about this product BuiltWith. You probably already using this. Just let me in the chat whether you are using BuiltWith or not. Just say yes or no, okay? Just say why, no, why, and in the chat, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Oh, wow. There's so many people who are using it. Okay, awesome. And imagine you have a list of 10,000 companies and you need to figure out, okay, what is the e-commerce platform that they're using, or whether they have the Facebook pixel or some other information about the technological tool stack that they're using. And you can use and figure out this information directly from Clay, right? So you just click add enrichment, you use Clay BuiltWith account, you click on that, and boom, you're gonna have all of this information on the, like within Clay in just a matter of a few minutes. You're gonna know what are the tools from the BuiltWith information that this company is using. And this is a really, really great thing. But the real problem with this integration or enrichment is that it's a little bit expensive, because you're gonna be charged 2 credits per each company that you want to enrich. So, like, considering the monthly prices, and even if you sign up with my link to Clay, and you're gonna get the bonus with the bonus plus 3,000 credits on the first month, it's still not enough to check thousands of companies. That is why, considering the price, we have the workaround. And this is one of the growth hacks that I wanted to share with you today. It's basically how to get the information from BuiltWith and about the technological tool stack that the company is using almost for free. So the very first thing is that every single company that is on BuiltWith has their own public page. And this page is called https://builtwith.com/domain name. So our main goal is to have the list of domain names. And for this, we can use the Clay formula. So we can say, hey, create a new column with URL builtwith.com/company domain. Once we click on that, we have the list of BuiltWith public pages of these companies, of these domains. And after that, by using Clay agent and our own OpenAI API key, we'll give a task to go and back return each technology that was found on this link. So at the end, you're gonna have the list of domains, you have the list of companies, and so on and so forth. And now you have the list of all the technologies that this company is using for this or that purposes. And for you, it's gonna cost you like $1 for 1,000 or like 10,000 companies, etc., etc. Why? Because OpenAI API is not that hard, it's not that expensive, considering this specific task. And you could tell me, hey, Ilya, if I can do this with BuiltWith, can I do literally the same thing with Crunchbase to figure out what was the funding round and what was the amount of funds that this specific startup raised, and so on and so forth, from the Crunchbase information? And I will tell you, yes, you can. So imagine there is a Clay agent where that you're going to use almost for free. When I say almost for free, I mean like a few cents, like probably $1 or $2 on a huge scale. And you can give the task to visit the crunchbase.com/company domain and find out the funding data about this company. And just a matter of a few minutes, you're going to get all of this information directly in your Clay table, almost for free. So, and this is already for you the first steps to figure out, okay, who is relevant and who is not. Because if you want to reach out to companies who are using a specific, platform or specific tools, so for example, they're using Intercom, or they're using specific CRM, or they raise specific money from a specific portfolio, VC fund, etc., you're going to get this information right away. And the next thing that I always use is whether the company is currently hiring or not hiring for a specific job. So if we are selling, lead generation services, or if we're selling SEO or whatever, and we have the list of contacts and companies, I want to figure out who of them are hiring currently for the SEO or the lead generation or for the SDR and so on and so forth. Why? Basically two reasons. The first one, I want to, for those who are actually not using, for those who are actually hiring right now for the SEO or SDR or whatever, like depending on my case, I will prioritize my outreach to them. But the second one, I'm going to use the job description that they posted to personalize my outreach. And here is how. We're going to use the waterfall approach, to use both Google, Predict Leads, and Clay's search to figure out whether this company is hiring for developers, engineers, softwares, whatever. We can add some extra information about extra keywords, such as HIPAA compliant, Python specific keywords. If it's SEO, we can say CRO and so on and so forth, depending on your specific case. You can even narrow down your niche. And at the end, you will have the list of companies who are currently hiring in your niche. And this is already super cool, right? But after that, we are doing even better. We ask GPT, also we are using our API key, so it's gonna cost us just a few dollars, probably on a huge scale, depending on your scale. We ask GPT to analyze the job description, and we tell GPT who we are. So GPT is trying to predict how great is going to be the match between what we do and what they do. And it returns me the probability and the explanation why we need to reach out to this company based on their job description and what would be my success rate in terms of the match, whether it's 70% or 10% match rate and so on and so forth. Because it's not only the fact that they're hiring, but also who they're hiring, the description. And usually in the job description, people share a lot of information about their internal processes and so on and so forth. So another thing is that if your target audience is e-commerce, there's so many things that you can do. And when I say e-commerce, you can do so many. So one more thing is that I see that a lot of people are asking so many questions about whether I'm going to share this presentation. Yes, I'm going to share this presentation. And when it comes to all of these cases, what I'm trying to share is the information about the different cases and the buyer signals that you need to get the inspiration from and then implement in your specific case. Because I know that you're all selling different things and you all have different target audiences. That's why I'm trying to share with you the framework, the approach, the way you should think, right? So imagine you have the e-commerce data, right? Or e-commerce businesses who are your clients. The very first thing that you can do is to enrich this data, this list of companies, by using store leads, and you're going to have all the information about the location, about even the shipping carriers that this company is using. The number one thing is that the second thing that you can do is actually to figure out what company is selling exactly what they're selling, right? So by using the Clay agent and some prompting, you can ask Clay agent to go and check what exactly they're selling. Is it like luxury clothes or is it jewelry and so on and so forth? So the third step for you is to identify the tool set that this company is using by either using built-with direct integration or the approach that I shared with you to do that for free, right? The fourth thing is that depending on your case, if you're selling SEO or some marketing activities or marketing services, you can also identify some SEO characteristics and metrics of this company by using SEMrush, the website speed by Google, page speed by Google, and so on and so forth. So you're going to have all this information about your contacts directly in Clay. And the fifth thing, you can figure out the competitors of this list of companies right away within Clay. And you can ask GPT to analyze, or you can even do the analysis of their competitors. So for example, in this specific case, we do have the list of competitors who are running ads on the similar keywords in their location, right? And after that, we are even going deeper and trying to actually figure out how to actually whether they're relevant for us or not. So, and after that, this is a really cool thing that I want to share with you is while you're selling like any marketing activities, you can sell the audit first. And of course, once you pick the top 100 ideal customers, the most golden clients, what you can do, you can create the audit for them. Yes, I see some questions. Okay, I'm going to share it, but you said no recording and the post. Yeah, so the thing is that before the webinar, a lot of people ask me that they cannot join the webinar, and that is why they said, okay, in this case, we have to do the recording. So people reach out to me directly. So they told me, hey, we need to have the recording. That is why I started the recording. I was not planning to actually send this recording, but before the webinar, a lot of people asked me about that. That is why I am sharing this. I'm going to share with you the recording. So coming back to this. If you're selling any digital services, what you can do, you can sell the audit. So what you can do, you can go and by using the My Web Audit, this is actually the tool for you, by the way. So here is the tool. You can actually create a lot of different audits on scale. So SEO audit, CRO audit, just web audit, and so on and so forth. And you can do this with Clay. So in Clay, you have the list of ideal companies, top 100 companies. Then by using make.com and Google Sheets integration, you're adding them directly to the My Web Audit, and it will generate in just a matter of minutes extremely personalized audits of the websites, like with CRO websites, SEO websites, and so on and so forth. Here's how it looks. It looks like 17, 18 pages of the audit, where you see the screenshot, the website screenshot within the laptop. It's actually their website, and it's going to be personalized for every single company. And the content itself within this PDF, within this report and audit, is going to be personalized for every single company that you're going to send. And at the end, you're going to have the call to action. So once people see this audit, they're going to see the call to action. And you can do this directly by reaching out to top 100 companies that you found by doing your enrichment approach. So, and you can do this automatically. So actually, once you figure out the top 100, the top 200, top 300 companies that you want to reach out to, you want to generate for them personalized audits and send those reports to them right away by using the My Web Audit and, for example, reply.io or instantly, or whatever tool you're using for sending those messages. And this is so easy, at the same time, so powerful. So just tell me in the chat right now, are you enjoying the content? Just tell me yes or no, from 0 to 10. Just 0, you hate it. 10, you like it. If you say 11, I'm gonna, yes, 11, thanks a lot. Yes. Thanks a lot. Yes. So we don't have a lot of more time. So like, if you have any questions, please ask them in the Q&A so I don't miss them, okay? So one more thing that I wanted to share with you, like I still have a lot of things to share with you today, but I have something special for you, and something cool for you to share with you right now. So like what I want to share with you, next Monday, we are going to make the mini course where we'll cover every single part of the lead generation, sales automation, and all the systems, frameworks, SOPs, templates, literally everything you need to build the modern lead generation, prospecting, and reporting stages of your sales processes. So during next Monday, we'll cover literally everything. Today we are covering just literally the parts of that, but the next Monday we are going to do this on the mini course. It's going to be really, really great. So we're going to share all the meat, all the practical, all the fundamental things, so you will be able to actually implement the things that we are going to talk today and on Monday. And we'll cover literally everything, starting from lead generation automation, and I'm not talking only about Clay, it's also make.com, Apify, so many other tools. But the most important thing is, what should be the approach? What should be the prompts? What should be the templates? What should be the workflows? Everything. The second one, we're going to talk about the prospecting automation. There's so many things way beyond the LinkedIn and email automation. And the third thing, we're going to talk a lot about the AI, how to implement AI with the list of prompts, with the list of things that we use for us and for our own clients. And we're going to share with you literally every single process that we have that you need to implement this, starting from prompts, frameworks, templates, SOPs, and so on and so forth, to build and implement the modern lead generation, prospecting, and reporting systems. And so during the next week, so once you are joining the webinar and actually the mini course and actually spending your time there, and after that you will be able to implement everything that we share with you during the next week. And during the first month and a half, you will, I almost guarantee you that you're going to get plus 40, plus 50% results compared to the current outreach activities if you implement everything correctly. And only after that, you're going to scale this process even more. Because I know that this content is extremely great. We prepared only the meat part, no fluff, no buzz, no only this. And let's move to the next topic. Okay, let's imagine that you found this 9,000, top 100 amazing contacts, 800 good contacts, and the rest is contacts who are actually not showing any great buyer signals. So top 100 clients, who they are hiring, they have the full, their tool stack, and they're actually matching your needs. They showing some great other SEO or some other things that you figure out and find out. So you have the checklist of the things, and they marked checked for every single criteria, for every single buyer signal that you have. They all said yes. So after this, what we do, we try to score all our contacts that we have, and we're gonna score all these contacts that we have and give the mark from 0 to 10 to see how relevant we are and how good we are for this specific contact. And we usually take the top 10% of those contacts who are really, really great, who match with our ICP and with other criteria and show buyer signals and the real intent. And we use them for one outreach strategy, also divided by micro segments. And the rest, we are sending more generic messages as we were always sending. Why we're doing this? Again, we need to maximize the conversation and every single contact that we have with top companies, top contacts who are showing the buyer intent and buyer signals right now. So how can we actually maximize the conversation, right, with them? How we can actually personalize the conversation with them? The first thing first, do you know SenseSpark? Please tell me in the chat, have you ever heard about SenseSpark? Just say yes or no. So here's the link to the SenseSpark. It's basically the tool for video personalization. No worries, I'm gonna send you all the links. If you haven't heard, I see that Valley hasn't heard about this tool. No worries. What you can do, it's more like a Loom type of the video, where you have your own face, and on the background, it's their website. Usually this is how it's used. That's pretty easy. You can just generate it, record the video, and on the background, SenseSpark will add their website. And for every single contact, it will be a unique video that is made on scale. And the most important thing is that you can do this directly in Clay. By using direct Clay integration with SenseSpark, to the top 100 contacts, you can generate personalized videos directly within Clay with no leaving and changing the tabs, which is really, really great thing. But here's one more thing that I want to share with you. Something that you probably haven't heard. And this is really interesting. I see that we still have a lot of people today. So have you, and you know that AI video generation or like AI video personalization is only about hello first name, hello last name, or something like this. This is the only thing. But there is a tool, and just tell me whether I need to share with you this tool or not, that can let you generate full AI videos based on the script that you have. So here is the link to the, I'm gonna send to you all the links, but here is the link. So here's the link to this tool, and it's actually, you write the script. You say, hello, first name, I took a look at your website, I know your domain, etc., etc. You can add as many variables as you want. You can add the icebreaker, you can add anything. And after that, this tool will actually use your AI avatar to create the unique video for every single contact that you have. This is so amazing tool. Sometimes it's so weird to take a look at yourself, who's speaking a little bit weirdly. But if you show this video that was generated to anyone, they will never notice the difference between you and this AI avatar, at least from the first few attempts. Really, this is one of the most exciting tools that I saw just recently. Okay, so once you do that, this is one of the ways to personalize your approach, right? By using video personalization, by using two tools. Like you can use different tools for that and check which one is actually working for you better. That was one thing. The second thing, my favorite icebreaker in personalization that I'm always using, no matter what is your target audience and so on and so forth, is I am always going and checking out the recent LinkedIn posts that these decision makers actually posted during the last few weeks. And based on these posts, I actually generate my icebreaker. So my emails are like LinkedIn outreach messages are always start with, hey, first name, I recently saw that you wrote about XYZ on LinkedIn. That's why I decided to check out more, to dive deeper into, okay, what your guys doing with more details. This is usually working the best for me, and I highly recommend you doing that. And of course, on the webinar, on the mini course, that just to remind you, the mini course that we're gonna have next Monday. This is the mini course. One of the questions that I have another. Yes, the mini course will be accessible as a recording as well. That is true. But one more thing is that, guys, I have one more question to you. Yes, please let me know. Please let me know. Do you want to implement these approaches just generally? Does it feel like for you that the whole framework of you got the list of contacts, you find out way more information about them, based on that, you actually do the enrichment and filtration and micro segmentation of those contacts. You pick the most relevant, you reach out to them with the the one approach. You need to maximize the conversation, maximize the results with them, and so on and so forth. So I see that the majority of people said, 92% of people said yes. So yeah, I can tell you that it's actually the outreach strategy that are going to work during the next few years. But yeah. So the second thing, and we don't have enough time, so during the next 5 minutes, I will try to cover everything. This, like all this information was all about how to use Clay and this whole approach only if you already have the list of companies and contacts, right? But what if you don't have? What if you want to already have all the contacts who are hiring right now, right? So, and only based on them, you want to figure out who fits your ICP, right? So in this case, we are usually using the tool called Apify. So here is the tool. I highly recommend you this as well. And this is the tool that actually lets you scrape literally anything on the internet. And how we are using that? We tell that to the Apify that we need to scrape all the companies in a specific region who are posting specific jobs on Indeed. For example, SDR jobs or BDR jobs. And I want to do this on a daily basis. I want to know and see the fresh companies who are publishing the jobs on Indeed. And then in just a matter of a few clicks, Apify is doing this on a daily basis and giving back the information to Clay directly. So yeah, I see. I can see a few questions. Please ask the questions in the Q&A. So in just 5 minutes, I'm going to cover all the questions. Okay, please just copy and paste in the Q&A so I'm not missing this. And again, so Apify is going to scrape Indeed every single day and return this data to Clay. And this moment, our main goal is to figure out whether those companies who are hiring, whether they fit and match with our ICP. Or another example, it's also for one of our clients. They were needed. They actually need to scrape product hunt launches every single day, and we also use Apify for that. We just scrape the list of products that were launched on Product Hunt. We move this data to Clay easily, just in a matter of a few clicks, and boom! After that, we start doing the enrichment and all the things that we mentioned before. So you don't always need to have and get the information directly from the Sales Navigator, Apollo, whatever tool you're using for the data research, and add it to Clay. Sometimes you just, when you need to dynamically add the data from other sources, it's better to use Apify for this. So one more thing is that I want to share with you. I'm not quite sure whether this is something that you actually need, but if you want to implement the things that we actually mentioned or shared with you, or you see the value out of that, but you don't want to spend your time by doing it yourself, we can help you with that. So here's the link. Just leave your contact details. We'll reach out to you and figure out whether we can help you or not. So in this case, it's actually the sales and lead generation automation consultancy, where we'll come and help you with implementing the right strategies in the right form and the right way by implementing the right automation systems. So you and your team will know exactly how to operate with the modern systems. I understand that might sound a little bit too vague, but at the end of this consultancy, you will get the clear framework, the clear playbook that is going to work specifically to your needs, specifically with your target audience, and the list of tools, the list of prompts, the list of templates, everything that you need specifically for your case. So, okay. And one more thing, just tell me in the chat right now, do you need the list of links? Do you need the deck? Just tell me yes or no, because if you don't need the deck, I'm not going to share it with you. But if you need, I will share it, definitely. So, okay.